Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel for another week of NFL picks. Last week was profitable for me. I won the Lions first half bet. They ended up covering the full game as well, I'm pretty sure. And I won the Saints plus 5.5. They actually ended up winning that game outright. So maybe a missed opportunity to make even more if I had bet the money line, but I will still take the win. And unfortunately, I lost my half unit anytime touchdown scorer bet with Evan Ingram, but it was still a profitable week, like I said. So the just under 2 units won for those other bets, and then the half unit lost means I won probably about 1.3, 1.4 units. So checking in real quick on my futures bets. A little bit of a bounce back week for Daniel Jones. The Colts won in Berlin in overtime. I wouldn't say Jones had a spectacular game, but it was fairly solid, and he led the team to a win. Or he was at least a part of a win. I think a lot of people would say Jonathan Taylor was the one who really led it, but, you know, he's still the quarterback on the team that won and is now 8-2. The Patriots continue to roll, so that bet is all but a lock at this point. Drake London also got another touchdown to keep the pace. He's still, I think, 3 back from the lead, but he is in the mix as we head into the home stretch here. And the Lions, like I said, got a win, and the Packers lost. So that's a good development for them to inch them closer to first in the division. So I'm going to give out my usual 2 picks, 2 straight up bets, along with an anytime touchdown scorer bet. And I'll jump right in. The first bet I like is the Rams -3 hosting the Seahawks. I think these are pretty evenly matched teams. Division games, it's a division game, which I always point out that division games tend to be close. I think the Rams playing at home is probably not a huge advantage at this, in this situation. A lot of people probably travel to LA as a destination game to go see their team on the road, and especially, Seattle being on the same coast might invite even more of that. I think the real advantage the Rams have here is the quarterback. Matt Stafford is playing at an MVP level right now, and Sam Darnold's playing well also, but I'm just still not totally sold that he's the guy you want in a big game. And even more so of an advantage, I think, is the coach. Sean McVay, one of the top 2 or 3 coaches in the league, some could even argue the best, against the Seahawks coach, Mike McDonald, I think is his name, who is still new, and I like the matchup advantage that McVay will have in this situation, and I think at -3, it's pretty good value that the Rams are going to cover this number. I could definitely see it being a close game. Even a 3-point game would be a push, but I could also see the Rams winning by 4, 6, 7 points. So I'm going to roll with it. 1 unit, LA Rams -3. My next bet is an underdog. I like the Bengals at +5.5, taking on the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers really didn't look great last week, or this past weekend, Sunday night against the Chargers. I think, his age could be becoming a factor here, especially as the season gets into its later stages. Injury and fatigue sets in even more for older players. And, they were on the West Coast last weekend. On Sunday night, they had to fly across the country on a somewhat short week. I know the Sunday isn't really a short week, but when you're making a cross-country trip after a night game, it shortens it a little bit. And the Bengals don't have Burrow back just yet, but they got word that he will be coming back soon. And I think that could be a little confidence booster, a little momentum shift in their direction that will, inspire them to go out and play extra hard to keep their season alive in hopes that maybe Burrow can go on a run down the stretch and squeeze them in the playoffs. And with the 5.5 point advantage that we get, I think this feels like a pretty solid bet. So another unit on Bengals +5.5 for my second bet. And then my final bet is another primetime tight end, anytime touchdown scorer. And I'm going to go with Jake Ferguson, the Cowboys tight end, at +185. And I'm going to go for a whole unit on this to make 1.85 units if Ferguson finds the end zone. He's been one of Dak's favorite targets this year. He's got 6 touchdowns already. He didn't have one their last game, so the way I see it, he is due for one this weekend, and I am due for one of these to hit eventually, so I'm going to lay a little extra juice on it and put down the full unit. Jake Ferguson, anytime touchdown scorer. So that's what I've got for this week. Thank you as always to everyone who has watched, listened, liked, and subscribed to my channel and my videos. Please feel free to leave a comment if you agree or disagree with any of my bets. I won't take it personally, so let me know what you think. And one way or another, you will hear from me soon. Take care. Bye-bye.